Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Great to see the chat so lively straight away. Welcome to System Link, our joint podcast and gameplay stream. And as always, I am joined by my co-host, Mike Hazelton from the Xbox Guide. Mike, how are you doing?
Hi. Yeah, pretty good.
Good to hear. These are the jolly vibes. Our 10th episode, Mike. Can't believe we're here. 10 episodes in.
Getting through them.
Yeah, I didn't think actually genuinely that we'd be able to maintain the cadence just because of life, just being two, working and functional dads. It's so tricky to balance everything.
Yeah, we had a rocky period, didn't we? You missed a few.
Yeah, we're back, baby. We're back. We're here doing our 10th episode, and obviously I've already. Oh wait, hang on. Plug Socket channels had some upgrades. I'm seeing bits and channel points. Congrats on affiliate. Thank you very much, Plug Socket. That's really nice. Yeah, we hit affiliate a couple weeks back, and just continuing to. I don't have a glowing face anymore. Like, my lighting's actually half decent in here now. Hence my God rays somewhere up there behind me. I'm watching in 4K. Got a setup upgrade myself. Jesus, okay. You don't want to be seeing Harry Kane in 4K. There's no need for that. So all that's going to do is expose my insecurities. So just before we kick off into our podcast this evening, I've teased it already in chat. Burly Bird Media has just a big announcement to make. We have taken our partnership with Laser Quest here in Hemel Hempstead to the ultimate level. We are going to be building and installing, ready for August 31st, a Burly Bird arcade. So this is going to be a next-gen arcade space with Xboxes, Switches, motion gaming on a big projector screen. We did a trial with them a couple of weeks ago following our partnership announcement on Discord. And we are now going to be doing a full permanent setup down there that's going to be coordinated by the Laser Quest team as well. So we're now basically in a business partnership with them. And it's going to be a social gaming space and a next generation arcade space that's going to be launching at the end of this month. We've been working on this a lot behind the scenes to get ourselves ready, and we can now. In fact, the deal I told Mike actually just before we came on air, and that paperwork was signed, I think, about 15 minutes ago. So the final contract was now put in place. So this is us now for the first time really branching out to a bricks and mortar space, building this company, and hopefully going on to sort of ongoing bigger and better things. So yeah, just wanted to kick off tonight and just share that. It feels. I said this to Mike. I don't mind sharing this with you guys. I was extremely overwhelmed by all of this, just because this has been something I've been just doing as a side project. And I got very emotional talking about it earlier. I think I'm fine now. I'm very tired. So I think that probably helps. But I know, Mike and I, we grew up together. We've known each other for 30 years. And we'd always talked about wanting to make a video game one day, or to have our own space, or both. So this is kind of a step towards that. So yeah.
That's amazing news. So exciting.
And very surreal, I think, for us.
I wish
right?
I was local and I could come and
yeah, I know. This is
be big.
This is we're Hemel and Wales, right? So we're different nations.
Yeah.
So that is happening. Plug Socket, you're in the Discord. Amazing, nice one. Good to see you in there. So that's going to get a bit more active in the days and weeks ahead. Obviously now we've got permanent advertising presence down in Hemel Town and all that sort of artwork and stuff will be going up over the next 2 weeks. I've got a very busy end to my summer holiday break as a teacher. So that's the situation. That's our plan. So bringing us back to tonight on System Link, we've got a couple of sort of really big items that have one was a sort of a big news story that broke very recently, and another that's kind of, I suppose, a bit more kind of speculation, but it's worth discussing. The first of which being the Tango Gameworks announcement from Krafton, studio behind Hi-Fi Rush, Evil Within 2, etc., have been rescued from shutdown before the teams were all dismissed and before Xbox shuttered the studio. Krafton, developers of, I want to say PUBG, and also the publishers behind the Callisto Protocol, have swept in and saved Tango Gameworks. Yeah, they've acquired it, and if I'm understanding correctly, Mike, they've saved the team, they've saved the brand Tango Gameworks, and specifically the IP Hi-Fi Rush, and that's it, right?
Yeah, no other IP.
Yeah, after a sea of closures, cutbacks, firings, and studios themselves just being completely shut down, this is a really nice piece of left field good news that I don't think anyone truly expected. It was kind of, when Microsoft announced that 4 of their different teams, including Tango and Arcane Austin, were being shuttered, that was, after losing Volition, after losing so many other teams, this was it. It was a done deal. Do you think this was always the plan, or has this been a kind of last minute kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because Arcane with Redfall, that it was on Twitter, like they had a patch ready to go and they couldn't launch it because the studio was shut down.
Yeah.
We didn't get that stuff with Tango. I think there was a further patch that came out for Hi-Fi Rush, but I think the assumption was that they just kind of quietly ceased to exist. But we never got that confirmation. So I guess they've just been rumbling on in the background. No one's been quite a tight ship, I guess. No one's leaked anything about it.
No, which is remarkable, really, when you think that this is such a high-profile announcement, actually, from Krafton to have stepped in and now done this.
But not being a Western studio, I think they're a lot better at keeping that stuff under wraps. Well, you know, Western developers stuff's leaking all over the place. So I think, and maybe it was they were apprehensive about it not going through, but it's a bit of a strange one because it's not like it's a big publisher that's buying up everything.
No,
it's very, very hand-picked and focused on Hi-Fi Rush.
Which,
like you say, because there's almost been confirmation now that we're going to get a sequel, or certainly more games in the series.
And there was those reports, wasn't there, around the announcement of the closure that they had pitched a Hi-Fi Rush 2, and they pitched another Evil Within, and that's the thing that didn't then move forward, and they shut the studio. Plugsocket actually mentioning, what about Evil Within? Who continues to own that? As far as we're now aware, that is still owned by Microsoft. So any sequel to, say, Ghostwire Tokyo or Evil Within, that would reside within Microsoft Studios, either outsourced to Activision or Blizzard or Bethesda, or within an Xbox Game Studios first-party team. So those IP are staying there. Krafton very specifically have acquired Tango and the Hi-Fi Rush IP. Like you said, a follow-up now all but assured. They were clearly wanting to work on it too, so they're not just buying and rescuing the studio, they're buying the potential of what that sequel could now become, which is it is in some ways intangible. That's very difficult to quantify, sort of like what that's going to mean for Krafton, how far along perhaps was in pre-production, or even just, was the game just in its pitching stage. I feel like that's very, very obscure at this point, and we probably won't get an answer on that. We probably would never know quite how far along that previous version of the Hi-Fi Rush 2 sequel, what that was going to look like. But certainly now they're in a position to leverage the IP and move forward with it.
Yeah, and you get the impression that it didn't do that well, as well as it needed to, certainly from Microsoft's point of view. So it's always a bit of a strange one. Like, it's not good enough for Microsoft, but it's good enough for someone else. But if they can kind of not have the shackles of a huge publisher like bearing down on them, and they can be a bit leaner maybe, and a bit more of an, because it did feel like an indie game in quite a few ways. So maybe if they can kind of get that feeling in a sequel, they can make a success of it. And obviously it will be multi-platform from the
precisely.
Or not obviously, but you'd think so.
Yeah, which follows the fact that Hi-Fi Rush has now been ported, right? So that there's precedent for that to be on multiple platforms.
It's interesting as well because that probably helped the sale of the studio.
Yep.
Like, they could have said, we've launched it on these other platforms and it's done well, presumably. Helps the case.
And it's found an audience. Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting too, because this isn't quite the same as the Toys for Bob scenario, because Toys for Bob was acquired along with the Activision buyout when that was all approved, and then shortly after those legal proceedings were finally finished, Toys for Bob then divested. They became an independent studio, but then it became an almost second-party partnership with Microsoft, because their next game is using a Microsoft-owned IP. Everyone thinks it's going to be Spyro, but they're still working with Microsoft, but independently. So this doesn't feel like it's had the same structure. It was very much that this wasn't Tango divesting and going independent. This was them being shut down, that process beginning, and then Krafton swooping in and scooping them up. So, but it's very interesting to me that there's that sort of slightly asymmetric kind of parallel there, which is that this idea that a second acquired studio is now going to continue in some form, whether it's either divested independently or now under a new publisher, away from Microsoft, away from the buyout. I mean, I would look at that and go and wonder, sort of, is that a case of Microsoft just overreaching? Have they just straight up overspent on this stuff and not been in a position to make it viable for them moving forward? It's so tricky to know.
You'd think with Activision especially, there must be loads of studios at Activision that are kind of like this, that are a bit vacuous, not making
support
a massive profit.
Studios, you know, that...
It was strange that they kind of handpicked these ones. Toys for Bob, especially. It was a bit of a weird one.
Especially because, I mean, that was the exciting part for me for the Activision buyout.
Yeah.
It wasn't Call of Duty on Game Pass. It was the idea that Toys for Bob might make a Banjo game. Like that, it was that possibility that great team that had rebooted Crash and had done such a good job with those games would now be handed Xbox IP, which sounds like it's still happening. They're going to be working on an Xbox IP. It
goes to show you though, because the two that seemed weird, the two that everyone were up in arms about, was Tango and Toys for Bob.
Yeah.
And Toys for Bob have gone independent, and Tango have been bought by someone else. So it's like, was it the right decision for Microsoft to let them go? I mean, we'll find out, I guess, by the quality of their future games.
From the output,
it's an odd one. I don't know.
Especially because within their first-party structure, and when you look at all that whole collection of studios that they had, both Xbox Game Studios, Activision, Blizzard, and Bethesda, Toys for Bob represented a really unique player in that, the closest being Rare, I suppose, right? Sort of they're the closest in terms of the kinds of games they were making. And then you've got Tango, which is like them finally trying to make a go of them having a Japanese developer, and then they ended up getting rid of them. Absurd. But they had... Evil Within had a great following. Ghostwire Tokyo was received really well on PlayStation, and Hi-Fi Rush was this huge critical success. So in terms of it being a unique proposition within their studio structure, they seemed like the two that you'd think would be the safest studios, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it at the time. The stuff Phil Spencer has been going on about, more family games, which they had with Toys for Bob.
Yeah. More
Japanese games, which they had with
Tango.
And he gets rid of them both. So now we're back to like Western RPGs.
Yeah.
Again.
And a lot of them, we're eating pretty good for RPGs on Xbox, certainly looking ahead. But it's a very strange scenario, the way this is all played out. I think in some ways, and like you said, proof will be in the output when we see what they actually create. But I suppose maybe less for Toys for Bob, because Xbox is now technically funding that as a second-party partnership. But whatever Tango does with Hi-Fi Rush, maybe Xbox won't mind so much if it is going to be multi-platform. But, you know.
Yeah. I think I forget his name. But the guy who is the creator of Evil Within, I think, has actually left the studio.
Shinji Mikami.
I was going to say,
yeah.
I was going to say, I think we might get like a not Evil Within, but something similar. But I guess we probably won't in that respect. Like I don't know what else they would lend their hand to other than Hi-Fi Rush 2, and I don't see that kind of, you know, breaking sales records or being like a game of a generation or anything like that. I think everyone who's got the first game will get the sequel if they liked it, and that's fair enough. But I don't see like a massive threat.
I agree. And actually, you mentioned about Evil Within. Given how, like, I think Treyarch have always done a really good job with their zombies modes, and this new one, the one in Black Ops 6, looks fantastic. They've gone back to it being level-based. It's not open world. Like, I really didn't like the Modern Warfare 3 one where it was just Warzone with zombies. It just didn't work for me. They've always had a great handle on horror, and I'd love to see an Activision studio like Treyarch be given the Evil Within IP and told, right, take what you're doing with this mode, this one part of Call of Duty, and expand that out into a full game in that IP. That's the thing. I think that I'm still waiting for some real, like, crossover synergy with, like, Microsoft's crazy library of IP that they own and the talent they now have in other studios. Like, you know, give what I wouldn't give to see, like, id Software make like a Halo spin-off or something. You know what I mean? Like, leverage those.
Well, we've talked in the past about the support, you know, from various Microsoft studios to others. It would be nice just to have id, like, advising on some Halo stuff, or you know, teams have excelled in certain departments kind of collaborating. I'm sure they do that, but a bit more noticeably.
A more meaningful kind of like a bit like how you've got Crystal Dynamics, which I know is obviously still an indie. Are they still owned by Embracer? I lose track sometimes of what Embracer have sold. I think they are, but yeah.
They're going to be Microsoft are going to take them at some point. I think
if Perfect Dark lands, Crystal Dynamics is going to be an Xbox studio. They're going to do like what they did with Ninja Theory. They're just going to snap them up. I agree. You heard it here first. Rumor mill. But you look at the relationship that Crystal have with the initiative. That's what I'd like to see, like more co-developed projects, but within the Xbox Studios architecture. So having a Bethesda team helping out a game studios team, like that co-development idea. I wonder actually how much Obsidian are partnering with others. I don't know how much they think how many projects they've got on the go, like ongoing development on Grounded, Avowed obviously wrapping up now, coming out in February, and then Outer Worlds 2 also cooking. You have to think they're bringing in they're partnering with someone. I remember reading In Exile are working with someone on Clockwork, and South of Midnight are working with a support studio. Compulsion are working with a support studio for South of Midnight. But I really would like to see some more of that sort of co-development synergy happen within.
Well, I think
Xbox.
I think there's a hell of a lot that you can just outsource without having to, say, it's Crystal Dynamics. Because you see in the credits for the games all this stuff that gets outsourced. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a lot they can lean on. But yeah, it makes sense to have some. Internal support from experts with the platform.
Yeah, I agree. Now, sort of switching gears, this is something we mentioned earlier about sort of the more of a speculation than anything else, but there's been a lot of coverage. I saw Gaz from Septic Source and also Paris Lily from Kind of Funny getting into a bit of a one on Twitter about this to do with Call of Duty and its marketing strategy, specifically whether or not Xbox have any restrictions on how much they can push Game Pass. When I listened to the clip that Paris sort of was shared on the Iron Lords podcast, and he was talking about how, I heard multiple people say it was that sort of classic, unspecific, and then walked it back massively. Like then he said he overheard other people talking about it.
I'm a big fan of Gaz, so I feel guilty almost for saying I'm with Gaz on this one, but like. The original soundbite was extremely inflammatory, kind of. It was, and it was backed up. It was corroborated. So there were two people on the show saying they've heard the same thing.
That's right.
And then on Twitter afterwards, it was like, oh, it wasn't Treyarch that said this. It was someone else that was there.
Someone at the event.
It could have been anyone.
Yeah.
Could have been anyone.
And they could have been anyone just like you've done, Paris, just saying things. Like it could just be them just saying stuff. And that to me is it's so disingenuous, So
it was saying that I think that they can't explicitly push the Game Pass thing with Black Ops, which isn't the craziest. I could see it happening. I could see that's the sort of thing that Microsoft would be stupid enough to get into, or it could be a legacy from PlayStation having the
DLC rights.
The DLC rights, yeah.
And the marketing rights, right? Because they had first dibs when they were doing the first 30 days free, 30 days in ahead, for map packs and all that. It could be maybe a holdover from that contractual agreement.
It could have been in that contract, we've got this exclusivity deal, and then when that finishes, we've got 3 years of nothing, parity or something. I don't know. It's. I can see it happening. We don't know yet because I think all we've seen really. You'd expect to see a trailer for it with Game Pass on it. I just think on TV and things, I don't know if we'll see a get it on Game Pass free trial. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay anything. No mention of PlayStation on the trailers. I think that's I can't even see, even without a clause. I think Microsoft would be a bit reticent to do that kind of thing because they're not ambitious enough.
No, and they're trying to make sure they don't cannibalize too many sales from other places. But then the bottom line is that people that are gonna want to buy it are gonna buy it. This is about increasing player numbers across every platform. But if you're a PlayStation owner, I don't think you're getting Game Pass to then get it without having to pay £70. You want to buy your copy. I think that's still going to happen. So it's on the one side, it's sort of, how much are they going to gain from explicitly marketing it? But on the other side, it's sort of like, why would you box yourself into a corner? Why would you sort of put yourself into this position where you can't then talk about the incredible value proposition that you have in your subservice? That seems to me just such a weird thing for them to agree to. So that it seems more likely that this is an inherited clause in a contract that's maybe just got to play out. That we'll see 2026's Call of Duty in a couple of years' time, where they just blow it out and they go massive with it.
You would think though, that we would have heard about that from the FTC stuff, because we heard about everything else.
Everything else,
and I think
right?
that would have been mentioned. Like, oh, you don't need to worry because we can't even market it for 3 years after the deal goes through. But I can see why like PlayStation would be worried about it. We originally said we would like Microsoft to go really aggressive on it.
Totally. I mean, we said
bundle it with.
Yeah, we said like the best way to do it is a Series S and year's Game Pass Ultimate bundle. It's the cheapest option. It's what gets people in, and if it's about bums on seats, getting people downloading that game so they're then spending COD points, they're buying the Battle Pass. That's what we need to see. If we see the metrics saying most Call of Duty players in history at launch, the Game Pass version was a success. Because the most players, that is the metric that really counts with Game Pass, because that's people subbing, that's people coming back, that's what they need. And if they can't talk about it not because of some legacy thing, like we're speculating that it's some kind of like inherited contractual clause, but if this is just some deliberate choice that they're making, we better not talk about it too much, don't want to step on anyone's toes, that is pathetic. They can't do that. They've got to leverage what they've got.
Phil said we don't want to be doing shady platform things,
right?
And is that a shady platform thing? Well, it probably is a shady platform thing to buy the studio, put it on Game Pass day one, and then heavily market it as exclusive.
Sure.
Play it early on Game Pass. Probably. I don't know if they've announced that yet.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, because the beta. If you're a Game Pass subscriber, you get into the beta.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, and you can get into it by pre-ordering on other platforms, but
yeah. Oh, we just met our follower goal. That's jolly. Hey, everyone. Hit 60. That's amazing. So, yeah, I think that's really key, isn't it? Because you sort of... At what point do you define that line, that arbitrary line of sort of what is considered to be something that would be, slightly underhand or a bit sort of like, like we said, like the backdoor shady deals going on, or just them aggressively marketing something, which we've seen enough news stories now about Xbox apparently not having a very big marketing budget, that Sony apparently outspend them. I find that very a tough pill to swallow when they've got the kind of financial backing that they do. It's a really, really tough thing to quantify, which is why we don't weigh in on it with any sense of certainty. You and I are discussing it now in a speculative sense, but when you see videos like that where Paris and the Iron Lords are sort of talking in these very specific terms of things they've heard and then have to walk it back when they're called out on it, just don't say it. If you haven't got any kind of confidence with it, if you're just speculating for the sake of speculation to try and drum up hype and clicks, if you can't back that up, don't say it with any sort of definitive terms. What we're doing right now is we're just pie in the sky. We're just kind of open questions, right? But they said it like it was a real matter-of-fact thing that they'd heard, from their sources. It's just all just engagement bait. I can't get on board with it. We've discussed it at length off air, how frustrating that can be when people sort of, the insiders leak things, it's just,
Do you... At what point do you think we will know if this has been true or not? Because I don't think Gamescom is going to be realistic, because we're going to come to Gamescom, but there's going to be a trailer. It's going to be an Xbox trailer. It's going to have Game Pass on it. I don't think that's indicative of obviously they haven't signed a marketing agreement. I think it will be the first like mainstream trailer on YouTube or TV.
It'll be the launch trailer. It'll be that one, the one that comes out sort of like, within 2 or 3 days of its early access release, like.
It still has to be the one you see out in the wild, because PlayStation are really good at this. They always put their splash screen at the start of all the trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's just the generic trailer. They've just stuck the PlayStation bit at the front.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the same trailer as everyone else. So it depends what they're actually showing. So
Yeah,
they might have the Xbox One with Game Pass and the consoles at the end and stuff.
it's the one we see on YouTube ads. It's the one we see at the cinema.
Exactly,
You know, what do they show at the beginning? What do they show at the? It's the. We'll know the answer to this question when we see the bookends. When we see how it opens. Like, you know, when PlayStation had the Destiny 2 before they owned Bungie, where they would always, like you said, they'd show the PlayStation logo and then it's just Destiny 2 trailer. They're a third-party studio where they have just an advertising partnership. I think Destiny had like a bit of a backdoor shady marketing thing going on there too. So, but they showed the PlayStation logo. So do we see, you know, Xbox and Activision as a splash screen, and then we see Game Pass at the end? How explicit that is, then we'll get our answer. I think that will be the thing that's really telling.
I expect we'll get the standard thing. It'll be an Xbox trailer. At the end, it will have Game Pass as a platform. You know, where they list the logos.
Yes,
it will have the Game Pass logo, and it won't say anything else about Game Pass.
It won't have a play it on day one, like they've done from Xbox's own stuff, which they can obviously do. They're entitled to do that. But we're meaning like the public, big, wide campaigns. That's the thing.
It won't say you can play it for free. You know, get Game Pass for £1 and play Call of Duty for a month and stuff.
Oh yeah, they're gonna bury that pound deal from PC. Like, they're just not good because there is still that is still running on Ultimate. You can still pay just £1.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so you can still do that. You can pay £1 and then you get 14 days later you get the $14.99 charge. That's the current offer.
All the Laser Quest consoles are currently
Fuck me, yeah, dude. I'm just like, I'm swimming. I'm having to get like prepaid. Do I get prepaid cards? Do I try and stack them up? Like, it's my running cost. So please help me. I'm drowning. But yeah, so that side of it, I agree. I think they're going to be very careful with that messaging. But it's how explicit they'll be ultimately in their push. The pre and post trailer push, that'll be the thing that'll be the most instructive, and to whether this thing actually is in fact, you know, going to be as restricted as perhaps has been suggested so far. Ryan, good evening. Thank you so much for jumping on. So moving, actually, we mentioned it already, kind of helping us as always with our transitions here. Talking about Gamescom this year. Gamescom Opening Night Live is coming up, hosted by Jeff Keighley. He's been, as he always does, outlining a few games that are going to appear there. Indie apparently is going to get Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is going to get a new look. Would quite like to see a demo. I'd quite like to see an extended uncut.
Nice. Yeah, I'd like a different trailer, not such a cinematic trailer. Obviously, it's a cinematic game, but I want to see proper gameplay.
Give me like 2.5 minutes. Give me a 2.5 minute unedited gameplay sequence with a little sizzle trailer at the end. That would be perfect.
Yeah, I think it's obvious we'll get a release date for Indie.
Yeah. And actually, again, because of my Xbox Game Pass Ultimate purchases I've had to make for the arcade, when you go on the Xbox Game Pass page on the Xbox page right now, the games they're advertising on there are Indie, Stalker, and I want to say maybe the Age of Mythology games, with the sort of three. There was like 3 titles on there that sort of you click on them and you go along like that. That to me sort of cement, and Avowed is nowhere to be seen. That to me suggests like that Indie's safe for this year. We're getting that at the end of the year. That's gonna be their game, and they've moved Avowed to give it its space, its breathing room in February. I do think of those 2 games, they do need like the something that's the guaranteed more mass appeal game, which I know Indie, obviously we've talked a bit before about how it's not like this huge prestigious license anymore. It's not like it, you know, it's got a legacy for sure, but I don't think it's got quite the IP draw that maybe Disney think it does, right? But of the 2, Indie is very much the one that you could maybe shoot for that mass market Game Pass subscriber. Yeah. I think over, say, Avowed. Avowed is the retention. Avowed is for people that have already subscribed to Game Pass. So now you're getting the next Obsidian game. Indie is the one, like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 being on Game Pass. That's the one that's going to bring people in, I think.
Yeah, and I think Indie, you get the impression it was just a really good fit.
Yeah.
Because of Wolfenstein Heritage, there's loads of Nazis in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Todd Howard, it seems like
he wanted to make an indie game.
Make an Indiana Jones game.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think it's like, oh, let's pick a license to do a game.
No, we got to cater to Todd's whims. You know, we got to get that done.
Yeah, I think we have to take it for what it is. But it'll be good. I think for it to really cut through, it would have to be outstanding. A really, really outstanding game. And from what I've seen, it looks really good, but it doesn't look to me like it's got that cutting edge. But when we see gameplay, I think we'll be able to tell
pretty quickly. I think what that's going to look like for sure.
Yeah.
That's where I think Fable and maybe South of Midnight as those RPG
You can see it in Fable, certainly. You can see it in Fable.
I think so. No, I agree. We actually recently just got a deep dive into Stalker 2. It was a really good, like 30-minute long deep dive with a lot of unedited gameplay. That game is looking fresh. That was a very, very smart acquisition for them as a second-party partnership for them to get that on Game Pass day one. The other game that I was actually really looking forward to that's now just been delayed is Replaced. It's the indie game Replaced. That sort of like very stylistic kind of like action noir game, 2D.
Yeah.
And it's been delayed to 2025. They've not given a specific launch window on that yet, but they have said a playable demo is going to be released at Gamescom. So that will be where we get lots of hands-on impressions of that for the first time. It's never been shown publicly in with gameplay like that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that at Gamescom next week. I think Jeff's always pretty good with spreading out his stuff. He's got 3 big hits in the year, and Gamescom always comes so soon after Summer Game Fest. Summer Game Fest is June. This is August. But then the next big hit is, outside of Comic Cons in November, is the Game Awards in December. And he's normally pretty good at spacing that stuff out. Like, we've had Hideo Kojima come out at Gamescom Opening Night Live. We got a fantastic Alan Wake 2 trailer in a previous...
Gamescom's normally quite good. I mean, Summer Games Fest was bad, except for Microsoft. So,
right, yeah.
Like, hopefully he was saving some stuff for Gamescom, because it sounds like Microsoft are also filling
very
a lot
big
of
presence.
The big hits at Gamescom for Jeff.
Well, they've got a confident end to the year in their slate, right? You've got the Starfield Shattered Space expansion. You've got Age of Mythology, Ara, Flight Sim, Indie, and Call of Duty. And Towerborn as well. So that's a confident end to the year in terms of their output, and they're all coming to Game Pass day one. So it makes sense for them to have a presence there, especially if Jeff's cooking up a decent show.
Do you anything kind of unforeseen that you think we might get? Like Aaron Greenberg, I think he's head of PR basically at Microsoft, has said you should watch it, which is an improvement over what we've had.
When he always tells us it's going to be shit, don't watch it. Which is
pretty much, yeah.
What are you doing? I mean, I'm from an Xbox side of things, I'm trying to look through sort of who's still in play first party wise that we don't know what they're working on right now.
I mean, there's scope for Obsidian to be the small Obsidian teams to have something, because we have Pentiment Grounded, and maybe it's been long enough that we might get I imagine they're still working on Grounded, but we might get something, just a quick little
update,
early
or
access
something.
Obsidian thing.
But, okay, that's interesting. I think actually this would be a great time, given that Concord is imminently about to come out. This would be a great time for PlayStation maybe to show like an Astrobot trailer. We might get something from there, but again, that's a known quantity. There's a lot more, I think, on the PlayStation side that we don't know about right now, and that would be Gamescom traditionally not been a space they've shown up to, but I think it would be a good time for them to really like maybe drop like just one of their studios just to tease something. They could really capture a lot of attention, especially when it's the biggest public gaming convention in the world now. So that's a good time to capitalize on that. And I think it's almost like a kind of opposite to your question, which is something I don't think we see. I think Nintendo are just non-existent. I don't think we see anything from them. They're going to wait for their own thing. Probably October or November. Switch 2. We get something at that point. I don't think we're going to see anything from them at Gamescom.
Do we know what Joseph Fares where he is at the moment?
Oh, well, he did say this year we're getting something, right? I kind of feel like the Game Awards is going to be his territory.
He's more of a Game Awards.
He's Game Awards. He's fucked the Oscars. He's all that stuff. Like I think he's there.
Does he?
Yeah, I think we're going to get that at the end of the year, and I think much like It Takes Two, I think we get a pretty quick turnaround on announcement to release. He tends to do that. So I think that's likely. I know that there's been some teasers about it maybe being some kind of medieval thing or something going on there, which would be just any Haze-like game. Please look forward to the stream that Mike and I will do. Some of my favorite streaming I've ever done was streaming It Takes Two with you, and those clips are legendary. Still on Twitch, still on here if you want to go check them out, anyone. So, but yeah, I think we wait for that. I think that's Game Awards.
I think this may have been talked about, because I'm not following the game hugely closely, but it wouldn't surprise me if we get 33 Immortals, either like a shadow drop or a date this year, because I think it's still down for this year. And the beta was pretty. There was some gameplay things to sort out, but it was pretty smooth and a good time. So
well, one thing I've actually similar to that. One thing I'd seen at Marvel Rivals, that hero 5v5 hero shooter, the free-to-play one, they've had their closed beta, and they've announced that they're going to be showing up, revealing a new hero at Gamescom, at Opening Night Live. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a release date. Always an outside chance of a shadow drop there too. The beta's now open beta now live. That would be a bit like kind of what they did with the finals when they shadow dropped that game. Yeah. There could be something there. I think it's been quite well received. So I think we're gonna be. I'm expecting updates. I'm expecting release dates for indie. I'm expecting new gameplay looks at things we already know about, because it is that sort of middle of the year kind of slot that it sits in. It's not the big build up to what Summer Games Fest ends up being. Sometimes, perhaps hit and miss with some studios, but I think this is Gamescom Opening Night Live is the place for updates. I do think though. One thing I would like to just put out there is maybe a little bet, just to see if it comes true, is we see a teaser trailer for the second Alan Wake 2 expansion. We get the next look at that, because we got the first one and it shadow dropped at Summer Game Fest. The second one is due out this year, so I think we get a little tease of that with a release date at the end of the year.
Yeah, get him on stage again.
Get him on the stage, doing the dance. Come on, let's get it done. All gods of Asgard, let's make it happen. So yeah, anything else you sort of can think of from you at Gamescom?
No, nothing. I don't think. It's always, because it's a consumer show as opposed to like a trade show. People go and play. There's going to be people playing. I think indie might be playable.
Yeah.
People going and trying that stuff out. So even with the Opening Night Live, it tends to be more, like you say, focused on stuff that we know about.
Updates.
I don't think it's completely out there for us to get some CG trailers for stuff that we don't know about, just to tide people over, especially from, like you say, from the PlayStation side, because they're kind of getting frustrated with a lack of a pipeline coming up. So I think if I was PlayStation, I'd probably just drop
just one
to keep
just pick one of your studios that's furthest along,
yeah,
and just get a little teaser. I mean, even to be honest, that fan base is they've not had a weak year by any stretch. They've had Helldivers 2, they've had Rise of the Ronin, they've had Stellar Blade, they've had some cracking stuff. Still really, it might not be first party releases, but they've had them. And then you've got Concord and Astrobot as well still to come. So you end up saying, okay, here's a little Wolverine teaser from Insomniac, maybe something we know about what we haven't seen. We get a little teaser of that, maybe a hint at what Bend Studio are working on, the Days Gone developer. I think we could see. I could see Jeff doing like a one more thing, and it'd be like, because he has done that with The Last of Us. He's done that with Naughty Dog several times, where at Gamescom or Paris Games Week, one of those ones, he gets like an end of show tease with someone like Naughty Dog. So I think we could see that for sure.
Just a quick one on this stuff in general, is because I've heard a lot of people, like Jeff is presenting everything, he's fronting everything, he's kind of organizing everything. Is that an issue for the industry, that one person is kind of controlling the dissemination of game announcements? I don't know. Is he actually? Does he own Opening Night Live at Gamescom, or is Gamescom the organization or whatever it is? Are they putting it together and he's presenting it? Do you know?
I think
it's him and his production company.
That's it. It's Gamescom is in creating that showcase in partnership with Jeff's company, who then facilitates Opening Night. Because Opening Night Live is Jeff's show that he does in partnership with Gamescom, the operation, the whole company. So it's Summer Game Fest and Game Awards that are the things that he directly coordinates.
Yeah.
I think I'd be more concerned with Jeff being sort of the front guy of a lot of this stuff if he wasn't so actively willing to listen to some of the feedback from last year's Game Awards, especially around the idea of like speech timings and advertising.
Yeah.
Because Summer Game Fest was a very slick show. I kind of wish that format, where he gave extended time for developers on stage to talk through their stuff. He gave spotlights to indie developers as well. There was a lot of that going on, without a lot of the marketing guff, which has kind of plagued a lot of his previous stuff. I get you got to pay the bills. That's I get that more so than ever now. But it's I think the fact that he's willing to listen and adapt, and it wasn't just paying lip service. We saw a much more streamlined, game-focused, developer-focused show out of Summer Game Fest this year, and I would imagine, I would hope, that those learnings would then carry through now into Gamescom, opening night live.
Yeah. Game Awards is tough because they're supposed to be giving out awards, so when he was rushing through some awards, or it's just like scrolling across the bottom of the screen so that he could announce some stuff, like it doesn't quite sit right. I understand that people won't watch it for the awards.
Sure.
That just doesn't catch people's interest.
But it's understanding
so
what you're making.
Announcements in there.
Yeah, if you took it as treat it more like an award show that has some announcements in it, rather than at the moment it feels like an announcement show with some awards in it.
Yeah.
Which is where maybe if you know you've got those three, you've got Game Fest, you've got Opening Night Live, you've got the Game Awards, spread those announcements out a little bit. Have the megatons maybe not condensed quite so much, and allow it to be that industry celebration. Whether that works financially for him in terms of viewership, in terms of the commercial side, that might not be viable. It almost feels like the Game Awards is kind of like the MTV Awards, and then something like the DICE Awards, which is more for developers, is then like the Oscars. That's always been my sort of comparison. It certainly has. There's a place for it being more like an MTV Music Awards or sort of video award show. But he needs to make up his mind about what that show is. I think that's what's you can't really have the prestige with it being just wall-to-wall adverts for stuff.
I guess just like playing devil advocate. Now that IGN own everything, if it was IGN were doing the opening show at Gamescom, IGN were doing Summer Games Fest, IGN were doing the Game Awards, I think people would start to say IGN have got too much control over.
Yes. Because then also Jeff isn't reviewing games as well. Like IGN are critically reviewing stuff, and how can you convince people that you're truly unbiased? If as much as a subjective review can be unbiased, because of course it's subjective, right? But there are objective quality control things you can do with a review process that might subconsciously be affected by a marketing deal or something. So you want to just avoid those waters entirely. Like you're right. I wouldn't want to see IGN. I think people would be more cautious and more nervous about that for that exact reason. I think.
Yeah.
Hope,
I think I would just generally prefer it if it was a different. Certainly, Summer Game Fest and Gamescom. Now that we don't have E3, if they were kind of owned by different people, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
I am generally on the side of Jeff Keighley, so but I was just putting it out there as a point. Really.
No, I hear. So we're going to be back shortly after a brief intermission. Mike and I are going to be playing some more Valorant. I imagine sort of you getting a lot of MVPs on stream, and then me getting all the MVPs off stream. I just want to point out.
I don't recall.
No, I know you wouldn't, but I do because I got them, and I wish I'd pre-prepared a slide that just like pulled up the screenshot. I wish I'd done that, but didn't. So right now it's just your word against mine. You know what I mean? Thanks everyone so much. Really lovely, lively chat tonight. So it's been really nice to see you. We'll be back very shortly. Mike and I playing some Valorant on Xbox. So stick around, please stick around in the channel, and we'll be back shortly. And we are back, jumping straight in with some swift play on Valorant. Joined once again by Mike from the Xbox Guide. Mike, we're obsessed with this right now, right?
Yeah.
This is it.
Match
Yeah.
found.
We used to play a game, Warface Breakout. Very similar format. It was sort of when Valorant landed on PC, Warface was like the console equivalent. And we were obsessed with that, and obviously it did really well initially, then kind of just tapered off a little bit. But we've, yeah, we're having a blast with this one now, which is really nice to see. Yeah, nice. There we go. Oh, that's way too bright. Let's put that down to there. There we go. Sorry, on my shepherd's forehead. Big Manny, yeah, everything's all good. Yeah, we're jumping into some Valorant right now. Did you?
Sometimes we get sidetracked during the intermission.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we were, to be fair. Just sidetrack chat. Have you stuck with the same character on this?
Time, life.
Yeah.
These are all resources.
I just don't like to have to think about my abilities, and these are straightforward. So.
Yeah, there's a time and a place, isn't there, for also investigating new ones?
Well, you can't get enough of it. You're baffing them all over the place.
Oh no, I'm all over the shop.
Works for you.
Yeah. But then I've also settled in
to focus on my shooting.
Yeah, I really that's why you're MVP. But I'm liking Deadlock at the moment. I've found a character I get on with, I think. So happy to stick with for the foreseeable. Got a sound sensor over here.
Listening.
I don't imagine they'll make it up that far, but it's good to cover the backs. They sabotage each other. Looks like they've gone the other way. Could do a sneak through the spawn.
Do it.
Oh, on me. Oh, he's nearly dead.
Gone away.
Yeah. Completely outplayed me there. Oh! Doopy doopy dippity doo.
Flanking.
It's going down in the center, I think.
Spike planted.
It's at B. Oh, unlucky.
What was that? Shield?
Looks like it, yeah. Pretty powerful ability.
But when you come up against the new ability for the first time, I thought, what am I actually supposed to do here?
Yeah, I saw one that was like, it must have been someone's ultimate. It was like a large circle area of effect thing that just shot out some like bolts of energy from the floor, and it kills anyone that's inside it. These guys need to push in. Uncle Drew,
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh no. Piddle.
Going for the kills now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Surprise.
Well, that's great. Woomph.
Got what he deserved.
He did, because that was unhelpful.
Sage, remember that you can't save everyone. We save who we can. That's enough.
I don't want that.
See if we can. Gotta get my shorty. Gotta be done, buddy boy. Yeah. I want to push straight up to
Over
here
there. No heroics.
as soon as the barrier's
Follow
down.
protocol.
There's someone on my right.
Ah, that's bad.
Fuckers.
Okay,
Nice.
You softened him
spike
up for me though,
down,
which was
B.
handy.
Sound sensor
Gonna
up.
use that to cover that entrance. It's the only way through into this bit. Give me an orb. Brilliant. Just heard that door activate there.
Target down.
Nice.
Spike planted.
Let's see, I think.
Seems like.
One enemy remaining.
3 down. Ultimate ready. Hold them to their grave.
Ah, I think I
Nice.
got him though.
Yeah.
But my team needs to get over to C and unpack it. There you go. Yeah, tethered. Go on, guys. Get in there. Why are they being so cautious? There's no one left. Oh, this is painful.
Oh shit.
Go on.
He's not gonna get it, is he?
I-
No, I don't think so.
Go on. Good. Oh. That was as close as...
Well
What
done.
was he doing checking corners? I got the last
They
kill.
have not won yet.
Maniac.
Yeah, isn't he?
Yeah. Same again, head straight down with you.
Protect our motherland.
Head straight
Over
here.
there.
Ah, I got hit by an ability. I'm not quite sure what that did, but...
No escape. Enemy
He's got a
spotted
shield up.
A.
He's just jizzed out some more stun abilities.
Spike planted.
No charges.
Oh, shit, not hanging around, are they?
Sound sensor up.
One down.
Hostile down.
I think there's someone else in here, but I'm... Oh, no, they're not. This is clear. Sound sensor's up, so it will cover our flank. We need to get to B.
I'll handle this.
There's 2 of our guys in there. They need to just defuse it.
Sensor down.
My center's been destroyed from behind us.
One enemy remaining.
They'll be coming in from behind, potentially. Yeah, from behind, from where we came in.
Reload.
Nice cover.
Defused.
Nice. That
Burning
the
defused.
synergy on that one. Well done.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, so they destroyed my
Last
sound sensor
round
rather
in the
than
half.
Alright.
tripping it, which it gave me the alert still.
Do you trip it even if you're crouched?
Good question. Don't think so. No. It's a
No,
sound sensor, so it's
shouldn't.
detecting footsteps. So you could like crouch or like just aim walk through it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd shoot it really.
Yeah, maniac. Especially because it gave me an alert.
I will not.
I've still
die
bought my
today.
shorty. Just for fun.
Thanks for the update.
Yep. Just letting you know. Guys here.
No escape.
Oh, fucker.
Oh, 2 of them. I'm down.
Ah!
Yeah, I
didn't
got
know
pushed
they were
horribly
moving
there.
up on me.
Yeah.
You're done.
Gonna get hosed, mate.
Oh, he's playing with doors. What's going on? Go on. Yeah, nice. Get in
One
there.
enemy remaining.
Why are they leaving it so late for the defuse? Just get it done. There's a weird egg on that thing. What are you doing?
Oh, what are you doing?
Last
Ah.
player
Oh
standing.
my god. Where's the vote to kick button?
He must be a noob.
Oh, where's my vote to kick button? Come on.
Toxic, can't you?
Clutch.
That was terrible. Come on. Can't be doing
Switching
that.
sides.
My quiver is never full.
Maniacs. Potentially go over here. Let them spread to the center. Synchronized knives. It's great. I can hear them on my right.
Enemy spotted B.
Potentially in the... Oh, on me. Oh! God, it just took me completely out of the play there.
Unavoidable.
One
Nicely
enemy
done.
remaining.
Nice. 3-on-1. You got your Rex from Bad Company.
Oh, I'm going first, am I? Okay.
Brilliant. You're the one with the spike as well, aren't you? I think they just broke through the wall. You know, the way you break through in that other room? Hopefully he'll cover you. Brilliant.
Spike planted.
They're definitely in there. Nicely
You are
done.
in our way.
Knee
Leg
shots.
That's why I've got the Rex. Yeah.
Yeah. Blow their caps off.
Their death demands
Nice.
our attention.
Well played. Got my shorty. Ready to go.
Things that Klingon says before each round.
I was keeping you up to date.
I know.
You got to be clued in.
I appreciate it.
No, I don't think you don't sound like you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
One down. There's a second one behind him. Nice, good finish.
One enemy remaining.
Listening.
Spike down A.
Third one in the corner at the
Oh,
back. It's a
fuck.
sniper. Ah, yeah. That's a risky bit.
Have the spike.
Oh,
Barrier deployed.
I blocked off that route. Oh, just chucking stuff at me.
And
Boom.
that was your best one, huh?
That's how it's done, baby.
Match point.
Pay attention.
Do it.
Learn something.
I don't need to buy my shorty because I already have one. Inherited.
I
Take-
bought my shorty just now.
Yeah, it's because you died, isn't it?
Yep.
But I'm not MVP
I
though.
got sniped by the
Worst-
one you were looking at.
The worst player on our team is currently MVP. And that's a 0. Even though that list I've just realised is not the MVP list. Lots of guys here. Oh,
One less. Ultimate ready.
popped one. What the hell's this? Why is it a little weird blob thing? Ah,
Lights out.
Fine.
Ult ready.
Throwing next.
I'll handle this.
some weird little piddler.
Launching smoke.
Spike planted.
It's
Shit.
you
The
and
guys
me.
at B, I think.
One enemy remaining.
On me.
Them to their grave.
Got him in the tether.
Oh, nice. Stealing your kill?
Yeah.
Attackers win.
That's how you do it.
We move forward.
That's a good win.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, it was in the correct order. Ridiculous. He lets down. No, I'm not accepting that MVP.
Why?
Oh, I just don't want to. Decided I don't.
Huh?
Let's get us back in. Folks in the chat, is anyone just to mix things up a little bit? Are we happy with me sticking with Deadlock, or would you like me to play as a completely unknown class, something I've never done before? If any of you guys are in chat right now, jump in there. Let me know what would you like to see. Just continue as I am, or do something completely fresh. I don't recognise this map. So what are we doing, folks? I mean, I'll literally just be picking at random if you go for that. Oh, Hope's come in and said unknown. Right, so that's official. I'm doing it now. I've no idea what I'm about to do. Let's go with this lass. This Turkish bounty hunter Fade. But not of raw fear. Hold enemies in place. Haunting Watcher. A Prowler. Oh, jeez. I mean, this is... I am not prepared for how to use this character, but let's do it. Big Manny, it seems you're too good as the current one, so maybe switch it up. Yeah, I'm too good. I think that's a bit generous. Thank you for that there, Big Manny. I appreciate the positivity. So I'm going to switch it out. I'm going to go for something brand new. I have no idea what I'm doing. So let's see how we go.
One on the other team as well, so we'll be able to see.
Yeah.
Does not matter.
So what are these all doing? So the knot ruptures on impact, holding nearby enemies in place. Held enemies deafened and decayed. Enemies in line of sight and creating terror trails behind them.
Gotta go.
Chase down the first enemy with terror trail it sees and near sight the enemy on impact. Okay. Oh, God, right. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I potentially should be like trying out these abilities here, so I know what I'm throwing down. And I also don't know this map too. So this is a brand new map, and I'm playing a brand new character, so I'm really... This is uncharted territory right now.
Take hold.
Okay, so that tags that it's an area of effect thing. And you've been marked by that, because that's my character, isn't it? So you were marked by that ability. Okay.
Last player
And that fear trail, that does the...
AFK, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, great. I think they get kicked, though. I don't think they stick around, which is handy.
Yeah.
I'll pinch his orb.
Go, go, go.
So that's the fear trail. Haunting Watcher. Enemies can destroy the Watcher.
Leave the dream seer to me.
So I'm just experimenting right now. I'm still cooking. There's no cut through here on the left, thankfully. Oh, one here on the right.
Where are you?
Reload.
Mark one.
We're getting flanked from the back as well.
Yeah, turning around.
Our team
Behind us! Ah, got the first. Big Manny with the emote. Thank you for that. Going in with the Burly Bird there, the classic, the dancing Burly Bird. That's what we like to see. Jolly vibes. Oh. Two more there. Good finish.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, I knew they were there as well.
Oh, you read it perfectly because you were aiming straight there. Nicely done. That was tough.
The enemy only looks composed. Their hearts tell a different story.
I'm a shorty.
I'm
Big
out
man.
of here.
I've also got a spike.
I know. High stakes.
I mean, at least I know that way now. Don't know. Let's explore.
Their
Let's go this
fears
way.
Yeah. I
Straight
was going to say we need a different
You're in
lane.
charge.
We're going to switch sides, aren't we, shortly? So. I think we're good so far. We place it down here at B. We're clear so far for the moment.
Yeah. I'll put it behind this box.
Bring them down.
Just us. Where did our guys die?
Towards the center.
On me.
One enemy remaining.
Oh shit! From the back.
I got one. Don't know where the others are.
I'll cover from here. There's one left. I'm going to circle back to you.
Oh, mate.
Last player standing.
Ah, fuck. I was behind a wall there.
Shit.
You can actually see the bullet hole go through the wall.
Oh. We got it. I need to get out of there. I was going back to hug
Last
the
round before
the
the
spike.
switch.
We cannot keep our goods after this. Spend all.
Spending all.
Go, go, go.
I think I'm going to join you with a Guardian this round. Not done that tonight.
Reloading.
C's.
They are mine.
Okay.
I miss your sound sensors.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling the. It's the tether for me. I miss the tether grenade.
Fire in the hole!
Got one down the end.
Spike
My
down
ult is
mid.
ready.
Spike's down in mid. It's just. Oh shit! On me! On me!
Player
Oh!
standing.
Oh.
Oh, fuck.
Back on
Face
that from the
your
B.
fear!
It's down there. Jesus. Took me right out of it. Yeah, they're going to be around there. Unless they've doubled back. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
They've got to be low, though, sure. Oh, in the bottom. They've got to be low. After that.
Switching sides.
What will it be this time? Gotta go. Have any patterns emerged yet?
Oh, tough. B's a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
Stay focused.
Going around to you now. Yeah, B's just got so many, like, flanking positions. I can hear them here.
You're done.
Bring them down. They're blind with fear.
Reloading.
Reloading.
You want to get to B?
Yeah, they're there.
Spike planted.
Bring them down. I'll find you. Enemy spotted B. Marked one.
One enemy
Got him.
remaining. Last player
Ah,
standing.
fuck.
Oh, what the hell?
Don't know.
Risky bid. I can hear them. Got it!
Nice. Hey, well done.
Oh, snuck it.
As much as this world hurt me,
Oh,
it's mine, and I will kill to defend it.
that's a scan. That's an area of effect. That's the problem.
I'm outta
Shit,
here.
but I don't think I'm using it right. This guy hates the waterfall. Don't like these features.
Many enemies B.
Looks like they've all gone centrally.
Will it be?
You circling around to it now?
Yeah. Yeah, action at
Enemy
B.
spotted
Yeah,
B.
on the way.
Ah, fuck. Two there. One's that got a sniper.
Yeah,
Where are
Ooh.
Mark 3.
Spike planted.
One spike planted.
One enemy remaining.
The hell was
Last
that?
player standing.
We'll catch them. Bring them down. Bring them down.
Oh, it was terrible on me there. I was just wandering back and forth out of cover. That's no way to do it. That's no good.
Match point.
My city needs me.
You could say it costs
I
the
can't
game.
be away for long. Let's end this
Yep.
quickly.
Well, no, you
Go,
don't
go.
have
Oh, you said I could.
to. No.
Leave the dream seer to me.
I've headed back towards B again.
Enemy spotted A. My ult's ready.
Yeah.
Bear, take them!
Oh, I'm down. There's 2 at B. Yeah, they're cooking it.
Spike planted.
Ah,
Oh, unlucky.
Enemy B.
Last player standing.
Oh, tough time.
Attackers win.
yeah.
Ah, 1 win, 1 loss. Well, that will probably about do it for tonight, I think, for our System Link stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been lovely to see the chat so lively. Thanks for jumping on. It's always appreciated. We do appreciate the support. Mike, thank you again as always for being our ever reliable co-host.
My pleasure.
We'll be back on Monday for another Burly Bird Live. As always, I'll figure out what I'm playing as and when I get there. So please look out onto our various channels. If you're not already, please consider, if you've got a Prime sub, please consider giving us that sub and supporting the channel if you've enjoyed what you've seen tonight. We're also now on our Discord, which you can find through our website, burlybirdmedia.com. And you can follow us on all the various socials at burlybirdmedia as well. Thanks again, everyone, and we will see you next time.
See ya.